Welcome back to Expressing My Thoughts, the show where I take a look at the weirdest pieces of media out there, and Panty and Stocking and Garter Belt is one of my favorite shows of all time. No, I do not have any shame in saying that. Being a cult favorite among many, Pasig, as I'm going to be calling it for short, was released back in 2010 by Hiroyuki Imashi of Studio Gainax. And boy, can you tell. Now, to give you a heads up, I've not seen that many Gainax shows. In fact, outside of this show, Evangelion and Fooly Cooly were the only ones that I've seen from beginning to end. But Pasig is different in a way that I'm not entirely comfortable with talking about because the show has no filter. Like, at all. You know how a lot of animation fans like to complain about Hazbin Hotel and how it always likes to supplement swearing and sex jokes for actual humor? Well, this show would probably give those people severe cardiac arrest. This show is kind of like the works of John Waters. It just doesn't care. It's raunchy, it's gross, it's surreal, it's experimental, emphasis on the mental. It does a South Park parody at one point. This show is unapologetically... Not to mention it's also really creative too, like with the Anarchy Sisters' weapons. Actually, let's make this a little easier to explain. You know this? Well, you know how they do this? That is how they fight demons in this show. Pasig is without a doubt a very weird and out there show. Perhaps a little too out there. The show ran for only 25 episodes with potentially more on the way, ? And for the most part, you can definitely see why. The madness just sorta hits the roof after a couple of episodes.
Okay, Judge, we're gonna need a new lawyer. This one is done.
Objection!
The series' pacing is also really bizarre. Its script is very drawn together-like, and yet it's paced like Super Jail or the Powerpuff Girls. The show is so fast its blood type might as well be cocaine. It also doesn't really have a story per se. Like, there is a premise, two banished angels hunting down demons under the command of their supervisor, but 75% of the time it's just the sisters hanging out, often in very bizarre environments. So, this is where you insert the "that's what she said" joke. Oh hey, it's my background! I'm not joking, this still is literally my iPad's background. Again, no shame. Also, speaking of Rebel Taxi, I just discovered that he did a review of it, like, a decade ago, and what I love the most about it is that he called Fooly Cooly the name of Rudy Tooty Ass'n Booty, which sounds exactly like what Panty and Stocking would call it if they ever cared about film reviews. I know that there's a lot to criticize here, like the over-reliance on sex jokes and the almost non-existent story, but then again, the chaotic creativity on display here puts all of Vivzy Pop's shows to shame, so I was perfectly fine with them being this excessive. Also, I don't care. It's really comforting to know that Pasig is coming back for more after a 14-and-a-half-year-long hiatus, not just because it's a really fun comfort show to put on and laugh along with how absurd everything gets, but it's pretty much the last of its kind. There aren't really that many shows anymore that want to do anything this insane and experimental. The last one I can remember was possibly Atlanta? That show had a ton of off-the-wall experimentation. Like, there's a scene in that show where a kid forces a bunch of naked bagheads to dance along to D4L's Laffy Taffy, and almost immediately I was reminded of this show's insane finale of the big bag getting heel stomped by a live-action mail-order bride. Thank you so much for watching, and I promise that the next Expressing My Thoughts episode will be much longer. Because next time, we're going to be covering... Wait, hang on, why does the green guy look so familiar? Can't be the only one who noticed this, right?
Chocolate, chocolate, you make me feel chocolate, chocolate, so sweet and pure. Chocolate, chocolate, I will be forever.
Wait, I almost forgot to mention the amazing soundtrack!